First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. And yeah, it's really awesome to be back. Obviously, things just went straight up after the World Cup. It's been a lot. I've been traveling all around the world. It was awesome. I won't lie, but it's really good to be back, to be playing rugby each and every day and back into my routine. And I've really enjoyed it and meeting a lot of the new guys in. And I think the awesome thing is that a lot of the guys stayed in our union. I think that's one of the big positives for us as a group. Dobo was able to keep everybody here. I don't think a lot of the guys wanted to leave anyway, and it just shows how much we obviously love the union and back obviously the new coaching staff. And yeah, it's just excited. It's a different year. It's a very emotional year for a lot of us, not only us as players, the DHA faithful who's been in and out supporting us. Finding out that it's our last year in Newlands. It's tough for a lot of us, but it can also, we want to try and use this as a positive and just give the people something to smile about. It's been a tough couple of years since 2010, and I think with the squad that we are very positive, and Dobo and the coaching staff is really excited, and us as a players, we are completely excited. We are hoping that people will just come and we make this year a year of celebration, not only off the field, on the field as well, and give something to people that they can, and say throughout all the challenges of the past couple of years that this last year in Newlands was really amazing.
Yeah, we've been speaking quite a lot about the Get Cape Town Smiling campaign. I just want to know from you how you see that playing out on the field, because I'm sure you know from personal experience, the best way to get your supporters smiling is by winning rugby games. So it's about playing winning rugby at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. I think the most important thing, we're obviously known as a team that's got the last couple of years, like the flair and everything. And I think, but one thing that we want to do, we've got exciting backs, and we've seen our back. A lot of guys have been in the Springboks. I think it's the best way is to find that mix, making sure we know what our strong points are, and the most important thing is actually win games. Doesn't matter how ugly it is, We just want to make sure that we play rugby that people want to watch, obviously, but we're going to be smart about it at the same time. We're not going to force stuff. We want to make sure that we win no matter how ugly it is, because at the end of the day, you can play the most exciting rugby. If you're not winning the games, that's not going to bring people back to Newlands. So we're going to make sure on the field we play as hard as we can, and the trainings, and give everything that we can by our hard work, and then also mingling as much as we can with the fans is something I think we've slacked off in the couple of years, and we started with the club game on the weekend. I think it was exciting. The NPS, the guys that don't play, we train in the morning, and then at halftime at the games we go and meet with the people and take photos and actually just chat, get to know who the kid is and take photos, because to be honest, we've been receiving the best support each year and year in and year out, and we haven't been doing that great. We haven't been reaching playoffs, and we want to make sure that we do it better on the field, but off the field as well, when we do have the opportunity, and show our appreciation to the fans that come and support us.
Cool. All right, Dobo, just on your side, these guys obviously heard from you when we were in the middle of pre-season. Since then, we had the camp where the Springboks were there, and now we've got a full-strength squad. It's a strong squad that you've been working with. Can you just track that kind of progression and where we're going in the next 2 weeks before our first game? How do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it did feel a little bit vacant in the pre-season, especially with the timing of the seasons now, which I've expressed often. I think is a frustration for us that we were training. I think we were training during the World Cup in pre-season while these guys are at the height of their performance. So, but it was a good opportunity to work with the youngsters. With the new contracting model, it's only 45 players. And we had 7 or 8 guys in Japan, a few long-term injuries, and about 6 guys out on loan. So it was pretty small, but it's good for the longer-term future of the union. But I think just around when Siya came, when we hit camp and the box came on camp, the whole thing switched to another level in terms of enthusiasm, intensity. I think we're getting to a stage where the youngsters are enjoying themselves, but they're starting to think, are we a Super Sport Challenge team? And then suddenly the influx of 13 or 14 top guys has changed the whole thing. And the energy and everything has been brilliant. And I think from obviously he's been through a lot, an extraordinary amount, but I think the return we get, hopefully the return we could get in the gate of giving this box the extra 3 weeks off will manifest itself, in competition. But now, so we're playing a little bit of catch up, so the days are a bit longer, but I think we're in the right direction. They're bringing good energy.
Okay, and then Newlands is obviously a special place for both of you guys. You've both got some pretty incredible memories there. How significant is a role is that going to play this year, being the last year? How's that focus going to kind of come out on the pitch?
I think that they're reporting at Newlands that people are phoning for season tickets, which I think hasn't happened for a while, which is great. It's brilliant. There's a lot of there's going to be a lot of emotion for it, and it's got to work in our favour. I think the players, we all love it. We absolutely love Newlands. And there's only one real way to say farewell. I want to over-talk where we're going to do in the competition, but I think we all in this room know how the ending should look like at Newlands, and we'll give everything to give that. Do you know what I mean? It has to be in a Super Rugby late stage, if not last stage playoff. And that's the way to say goodbye to the great old lady of South African rugby.
And I suppose the challenge now, especially for me, is making sure that first game on the 1st of February, we've got a good crowd and the people are behind us, so that we've got the best chance of making the most of it.
Yeah.
All right. Over to you guys if you've got any questions from there.
Siya, I think if we can start, I mean, obviously you've spoken about how much has happened since the World Cup and how busy you were, but you must be looking forward to actually getting back on the playing field again with the rugby.
No, I am, and it's tough. Obviously, like Dobo said, he did manage us very well, and he gave us a bit of extra time off. But now it's back into the hard work, and I'm really enjoying it. I mean, there's a lot of new guys that Dobo brought in, because we've got 45 guys that have to win the Super Rugby. And for me, it's all about giving my best for the team, like I always do each year, and just focusing more on actually the on-field stuff. And obviously, when we have time with the fans afterwards, and spending some time. But the most important thing is going to be to bring all that energy and that positive vibe and the winning culture into this team, and not by talking a lot, it's actually by doing the stuff, and actually by following more than leading or anything like that.
Obviously the expectations will be massive. I mean, given the squad that you've got, how do you, in the past you've had strong squads, but it didn't turn into results. It's well documented. But how do you turn that into on-field success?
I think the most important, what I learned last year, is having a coach who has a plan with his coaching staff, and they all buy into it, and us as players buying into that, and making sure that whenever we walk out of this room, where we have the meeting, when we step on the field, everybody agrees and everybody buys into that. And I think so far Coach Dobo has been doing that well, and he gives us input. That's the most important thing. If something doesn't work, he allows us time to say, you know what, this is not working, let's work like this, and getting everybody buy into this, and then we just turn it on the field and work on it. And if it doesn't work, he'll make new plans. But I think it's just buying into his plan and making it our plan. That's the most important thing.
Well, John, maybe over to you. What is that plan?
I touched on it last week. Obviously, we're not going to go into the nuances of the game plan now. But I think the experience and the way Siya and those guys played in the World Cup, and the fact that with just the sheer numbers of who've come back from the forwards, is that we have to achieve forward dominance. Unfortunately, what I said last week was interpreted by some as meaning we were going to play just a forward-based game. We have to use the pack that we've got to generate the momentum for the amazingly exciting backs that we have. That's annoying. It's not something from NASA. Siya, he's exceptional. He's got real X factor, exceptional carry of the rugby ball. We'd be stupid to deprive him of that skill and just make him chase kicks or run or hit 40 breakdowns. So it's the plan is that we cannot spurn the power and the personnel that we've got in the front. So as I said last week, it's going to be a hybrid game. But the teams that we all think are the most spectacular, it's often come from, whether it's from a scrum penalty got advantage and you've tapped and gone, or you've played the advantage, or that's when the dramatic cross kick comes, or it comes from that turnover, that space you've created by the ball going forward. They've had to pull extra forwards and create space for the backs. It's the turnover through our defensive line speed and our physicality. So I think it's a good hybrid plan, but we will be harnessing and conditioning to use the forwards that we've got.
To latch onto that, coming off the back of the World Cup win, a lot of core group of you guys the mental part of the game is going to be very important, and how they adapt to what you want to do in 2020. Have you had a mental coaching with them, or are you still?
Tom Dawson Squibbs, pretty much with us full time, and we've actually had I think Siya's been in 2 chats with him today. But I would say the buy-in and enthusiasm of the returning Springboks has been extraordinary. Everybody said to me before they go back, "How are you going to manage it? How are you going to manage it?" And he's on Jay-Z and Kanye West, and he's in Hong Kong, and I don't know where else he's been. He's in the Bundesliga. He's going to play in the Bundesliga benefit game and all this stuff. But and I think he said the enthusiasm and buy-in and energy they brought, it's been incredible. It's been uplifting for the group. And it's amazing. I'm not saying it's a testament to them as individuals. I think to a man, might be one player off, to a man, they all turned down bigger offers everywhere else in order to stay and see through the journey here that they'd started at Western Province and the Stormers.
So, this time last year, you had a number of Springboks in the squad, but you were all Springboks that had been part of a sort of a middling, up until that point, quite a middling Springbok team. You hadn't won anything in a long time. You'd been part of big defeats. How much of a difference has the World Cup made to your self-belief, your belief now that you can actually go on and win this competition? Because this time last year, okay, maybe going back 2 years, you wouldn't have believed you could win a World Cup. And maybe 2 years ago, you wouldn't believe you could win Super Rugby. But now there must be a lot of belief that you can do just about anything because you have done it.
Yeah. I think it did help quite a lot. And I think if I take you back, before we played New Zealand, if we didn't, if we didn't beat them that day.
You're talking about New Zealand in 2008 to the one in Wellington.
Yeah, when one day, did you see how much change? That made a huge change in us, and then the second game was even closer. And I think that is big for us as players, for our mentality, and I think it's something that I always hope that we could take it into our unions, because we want to be consistent. That's the most important thing. It's easy to go and do something great, but you got to do it over and over. That's why we want to maintain that, and we have to start here in our unions, and we have to bring that through here, and that's the most important thing. I think on what Tobo said there, on your question, rugby is the one sport that you can get humbled very quickly, and that's through all the travels and all the praise that we get as players. I know if I don't perform, everybody forgets about everything that you've achieved, and then that's another thing. That's why me and Tobo in talks the whole time. He just wants me to get back into a routine because he knows what type of a player I am, so I had to come back earlier than some players, because some players can just come and play. Some players are just athletes, like Peter Steve doesn't have to train. He can just come and play today, and he'll play like he played in the World Cup final. So that's why I'm really glad Tobo is hard, because he knows me and he told me, come back, come train, get into a routine so I can back to it. And in the other years I would be off and I'll come back and get injured, in that kind of stuff. So rugby is a gentleman's sport, and the guys are honest with one another, and some guy from another team will tell you, you're getting a big head, you need to calm down. I think that's why I really enjoy the environment we have here, because Damien will tell me straight, "See, you're out of line, or you're not working hard enough." So that's why I'm really glad I'm back in the environment again.
See, and also, Davo mentioned it on camp, you guys were divided into groups where you didn't necessarily know the guy next to you or the other one next to you. How has that helped them and also you to just get used to each other?
Yeah, I think Davo said it earlier. We just don't want senior group or Springboks, these guys. We want everybody to be one, and the only way you can show how senior you are by the way you play. And we wanted to make an environment where everybody can have an opinion in a meeting, and I think the way David Krill and Rickers have come in, they've never felt like we make jokes with one another. If I do something stupid, he'll tell me, and we want that kind of comfort in the team, so it's easy, so that the guys don't have to speak behind the back. We just say they're right there on the table, and I think it's helped a lot. We're still in those groups now, so we compete against each other before training. We have lunches together, so we get together quite a lot. I think the more we get comfortable off the field, we don't have to all like each other. We just need to get along to make sure that the DHL Stormers are the number one thing, and nobody else's own goals or achievements are more important than what we want to achieve here. And if somebody has a better opinion than me, then so be it. I'll take it and then we move forward.
So yeah, that can just go back to the World Cup and the aftermath, but that feeling of unity that we saw in the trophy tour in the weeks that followed throughout the country. How do you guys maintain that now when you have to wait until July for the Boks to play again from now until then through Super Rugby? How does rugby in South Africa keep that unity that we saw after the World Cup?
I think it's something that we've had for quite a while, though. I think we've got a very diverse group here, and something that's really been strong, and we do things that are out of our, some of us out of our comfort zone, and we allow each person to take us where they're comfortable. And I think the best way is for us to understand each other, hence why Togo puts us in different groups, so I can understand the next guy and what makes him play well or what makes him negative. So we want to bring that in the sense in what we do off the field and on the field as well. So we're just gonna be who we are and bring our best to make sure that the Stormers does well, and hopefully we can inspire a lot of guys to give their best and be themselves, so that we can create more Springboks around here. And I think the biggest thing is hard work, and that's the only thing I can tell you, that we keep on working out as hard as we can, honest on and off the field. It's the only way we can keep that going in a positive way,
Are you happy with how your season's starting, the teams you're playing at home first time?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I think it's the first time we've had a draw like this in a long time, and we never make excuses, but I think we couldn't have asked for a better way to start. And it doesn't matter who we're playing. If you're playing at Newlands, Newlands should always be our fortress, and it's something we always pride ourselves in. And one thing that Dobo reminded us is that it's not only our last time at Newlands, it's also the other teams' last times at Newlands. So that's also going to win. All the teams love coming to Cape Town. They always want to come here, and we want to make it special for everybody, but not disappointing each and every Saturday, but giving our best. And that's starts here by the way we come in, and I believe being consistent is all about your attitude from day one until the last day. And that's how we have Tom to measure that. How are you feeling this week? Are you in the same mentality as you were the week before, where you got a man of the match performance? So we want to carry that through. And the most important thing, Tobo always pushes, he wants us to be better people. You can be the world's best. If you're not a better person, you don't treat people right, and we're not here to be served. We want to serve the public in this final year, and something that we can carry through forward.
So I mean, you were in Japan, so you know this yourself. There was quite a sort of backlash in New Zealand when they got beaten by the All Blacks. By England in that semi-final. Do you think? I mean, you're playing a New Zealand team first year. It's going to be a big game. Do you think that there might have been almost a bit of a wake-up call in New Zealand, which might make their teams even more dangerous and more on edge this year than they were before, in the sense that they might be refocusing in some way?
I'm not sure, but I think they're professional, and they will come in with the same. I think they come in every game with the same attitude. I think that was just on the day that England was just really good, but every time I played against New Zealand team, they've always pitched up, and I think nothing much is going to change from that. But obviously, it will motivate a whole lot of guys to play, because some of the players have left. There's open spaces, so everybody wants to perform. Like a guy like Akira Oyani, Kieran Reid is not there, he's going to want to pitch up, and Ali Xavier is a bit injured, so there's always gaps there. So every team that comes here, I think we've got the Blues and the Hurricanes, so it's going to be big games, and us going there is another thing. I think that we and Dobo are probably going to speak about. I think all these games are all about mentality, where you put the teams. If you want to go there and say you want to win all the games, and I think that should be the attitude, and I think that's us winning that game in Wellington kind of gave us that mentality, and that's something that probably Dobo will speak to us throughout the time. That when we go on tour, we want to win every game. We don't want to aim maybe win this one and lose that one. Just make sure. And most of the team, where in the past, most of the teams I've played in, we already lose before we even get on the plane, because you're choosing which game you're going to win.
The other guys in England doing overseas, how tempting was it for you to look at offers from overseas and whatnot, take it up?
Yeah, it was tough. I won't lie, it was tough, but at the same time, like we all rugby players, and we're families. You want to look after your family. But for me personally, I can only speak for me personally. I believe that there's so much to do here in South African rugby, and there's so much that I can add value in playing here, and I can't do the changes that I want to do, like in my community, by being elsewhere. And I believe in this union so much, and I would really, to be honest, I would love to win a title with the DHL Stormers. I mean, I've been here for like 9 years now, and I never won a single thing. And there's big games coming, like the British and Irish Lions, and I want to be here for that, and I want to experience that. Like when we came back from the trophy tour, we won the World Cup in Japan, it was amazing, but when we got here and we see what sport does to people, and it's huge, and I can never say anything bad about someone leaving. Like some guys have to leave to get the opportunity, like Cheze did. He had to leave, and he got noticed for doing something great there. But I really believe so much in what's happening in South Africa and what we can do, and hopefully in future we have a whole lot more people staying, so we can pick from here. But once they're there, they still come back and perform, so you can't really argue with that. But yeah, I'll stay there because I know what Dobo's plans are, and I was happy with that. I know what Coach Raz's plans are, and my main focus now is to make sure I give everything I can for Dobo so I can get picked every week. and hopefully inspire the next generation to know that you got to do your hard yards, because I'm also still 28, so you never know what's going to happen when I'm 30 years old.
So yeah, the deal with Jay-Z, how does that help your plans?
No, it's more commercial stuff. So it's like having an agent, but they're gonna do my international stuff. If there's opportunity overseas, to be an ambassador for something, and a lot of the stuff is for me. If I get an opportunity overseas, some of the profits to get the company to give back to a little bit to South Africa, and so all the stuff that I do that side, I'll always try and help people like who are less advantaged, and yeah, that was my main reason for that. And there you're reaching out all around the world, instead of just focusing here in Africa.
Just the news today of Paul stepping down as CEO. I mean, does that administrative stuff have any impact on what you're doing with the players, or is it quite easy to separate yourself and the players from what's going on there?
Yeah, I must say, I said to the team this morning, we're independent of that, we're in a really, really good space. In terms of how we built the squad, there wasn't one player that we wanted that we didn't get or keep. We limited to 45, so there are a few players that we were already on longer term contracts, so we had limited ability to even have contracts for more. So we got everybody we wanted, and I must admit we're in a really good operating space at the moment. I feel like we're backed and empowered. So it has no impact. I think Paul did a good job in helping us assemble the squad. Sorry for him that he's not going to be here to hopefully reap any, see any rewards we might reap. I feel sorry from that respect. But he did a good job in helping us get, it was a tricky year, as we all know, 2019 off the field, and that we sit here in what is an improved physical environment with, I think, improved operating systems, great energy, and certainly freedom of movement. We're not feeling any sort of interference or anything. It's feeling good for us, I must say.
All right. Last questions, guys. Davey?
Got 2 games this weekend.
Yeah.
How will you be splitting the squad, and how will you be traveling?
Siya obviously will lead the team in Marvel and Superhero Sunday. Probably about a 37. There's some. Frans Maherbe is not known as a champion of high speed running at Highveld, and we've got to. He's not the gazelle, if you know what I mean. He might be more water based. I don't know, but he's we have to be responsible because we gave those Springboks quite a bit of time off. That if you're going to go and put them within 12 days, because he actually asked, he's been flattering. He came and asked to fall in early. He's probably ready for it. He's ready for it. As a guy like Frans, I don't see him stretching before he goes to bed every night. So that may be an element of risk. At altitude at 1 o'clock, it would be a much faster game than maybe Friday nights in the rain in Knysna. So certainly the stronger team, and higher profile team probably playing on Sunday, but there will be some Springboks going to the Kings on Friday night. I think it's fair to Nyasna and also fair to a couple of the integration of those players. I'm not being silly, but the truth is this season is so absurd. We're probably minus 3 weeks ago from a 20th February start. You can't break the South African culture of giving those guys off, which we have totally respect, spend time with their families from Christmas to New Year, and then expect some of those athletes to, in 13 days, be able to accelerate very fast in 30 degrees at the Calabash at 1,400 metres, without risking a form of injury, which would be detrimental to both South African rugby and the players, and us, of course. So it'll be a bit of a mix and match. But Siya will definitely lead out the team on Sunday.
Yes, of course.
This is the jinx they're going to lose now, eh?
No. It was, that experience was amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I think meeting the coach by accident in Camps Bay and then him inviting me, and then in 2 weeks' time I was there watching them, and such an amazing person. He came and shook hands with everybody on my table, got to know them, brought his wife and his best friend over and got to speak to them, and what you see on the side of the field, how he hugs the players, that's just him the whole time. And the crazy part is that his players follow that. When I went there, before they went to go warm up, and I was standing by the tunnel, by the sun where they touched before they play, and they all came to say hello, which was because they all watch, obviously, the World Cup final before they play the game, because he takes a lot of, he watches different sports, and he learns a lot from different sports, and it was just amazing. And I'm hoping a lot of the players can get to experience something like that. And I think when Dobo goes and see what the other teams are doing, I'm hoping he can go there as well, because I think he's similar to a lot of the South African coaches, and that's why his players play for him. And I'm hoping that this is our year as Liverpool. and DHL Storms.
All right. Thanks, guys. Jürgen Dobson, is that it?
I'm not going to hug you.